fired up. So that was happen. I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited because I feel like here's the reality of it is that we are in charge of momentum. Our energy is in charge of momentum. And if we show up with lack of energy, if it's always a struggle to get back on the in the space and in the zone, it makes it harder and harder to do. And I just got off a coaching call and I was telling them, I said, look, I said, it's harder every time you slow down, it's harder. It's more difficult to get that energy back than it is to stay in that energy. And so a really good question to ask is how do I stay in that energy? And it reminded me, I got this I guess it would have been 7 years ago. I did coaching with a man named Preston Pugmire, changed my life. Um, absolutely changed my life. And he was the first person to truly coach me and to truly like ask me hard questions and fear stories and all of this stuff and really got rid of toxic relationships in my life at the time, in my downline. Was standing up for myself, was just like I was a different person. Like I became a different person under his study basically. And one of the things that he told me is he was like, your energy matters and staying in that right energy is the most important thing. And so he had me write down a blueprint of when you feel like crap, this is what you're going to do. And it was like three things. And it's hot pink lipstick for me. It was loud music and it was going for a drive. And it's funny because the going for a drive thing actually came after Floyd died. I would go for drives. Cheryl, yeah, all y'all remember that. Because like I would literally just like I need a break and I would need to grieve and I didn't want to do it in front of everybody. And so I would go to the Dunkin' Donuts in Lebanon. I would get a coffee and I would just drive. I would drive for hours and hours and hours. And so that just became part of my like even now, if I get overwhelmed or stressed, Rodney knows he's like, just go for a drive. And so I listen to music, whatever. And it would put me in a really good space. So the other day, I got a gift in the mail from Megan Milokovic, actually, that was just a tube of hot pink lipstick. And it was just like, because Rodney had been out of town for a week and it was in Montana or whatever. She just sent it and just said, this is your blueprint for success. And it like totally made me tear up because I was like, yeah, that's effing right. Like I saw, and I'm doing the things. And so now every time that tube ballistic sits on my counter, every time I see it, it's like, yes, like I know who I'm made to be. I know who I'm created to, what I'm created to do. I know my purpose. I'm clear on where I'm going. It doesn't matter the circumstances. It does not matter the circumstances. We have the choice to choose how we feel and how we want to act on that. And the reality of it is that it doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter the feelings. It doesn't matter the anything. It's all about our thoughts because our thoughts will create the action that we take, which ultimately gives us the results that we're looking for. And so when I look at this tube of lipstick and I'm like, this is the blueprint for success, I've had that blueprint for success for 7 years. And I know when I put that hot pink lipstick on, shit's about to get real. I'm about to do some messaging. I'm about to throw down up in here. I'm about to take it to the next level. And what happens when I think that way and I feel this way, this exact way that you guys can tell, right? You can feel the difference when I'm like this, is I take different action. Am I working more? No. I'm actually probably working less. Today's been the craziest day. I'm actually working less, but the people that I'm messaging are getting very direct and bold messages because I'm just like, I am here to win. And if you're not fucking here to win, just say so because I'm moving on. Like that's where my headspace is. And that's what Preston taught me 7 years ago. And so you need to find something and you need to brand yourself with it. Like, this is what I do when I'm stressed out. This is what I do when I know I need to work, but I just don't have the motivation. This is the difference. This small habit of finding something that makes you a winner, that turns you into a winner almost instantaneously. That is what unsuccessful people will not do. They will sit back and they'll wait, and they'll wait for someone to come to them. They'll wait for the idea to just come down from on high. They'll wait, right? But the successful people are like, I'm going to put on my pink lipstick and I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know the outcome. We never will know the outcome. But I'm going to show up and I'm going to put one foot in front of the other and I'm going to do the damn thing because I want more for my family, because I want more for myself, because I want more for when I look in my kids' eyes and I'm like, this is what's happening. And I'm going to be a 5-star diamond and we're going on a yacht trip and you get to go to Italy, Spain, and you get to do this, and I get to do all that. I'm doing it for bigger reasons. I'm doing it for the mom who's going to join my team, was in the same situation I was. I'm doing it for the people who really need this business. Like I needed it, like Lisa needed it, like Cheryl needed it, right? Like we needed this more than we could have ever thought possible. We need the community, we need all the things, but it's like, we can't share that just on social media. We can't share that just when it works out and all the schedules and the stars align. We've got to step out in faith. We've got to be having events. We've got to be asking people to have events. We've got to up our game on our social media. And just so you guys know, I'm a diamond and I have no clue about social media. I'm still just like, okay, because it changes. It's a never changing algorithm, ad boosting. At one point you were buying your followers and now you're not buying your followers. It's like you do content. It's like there's all these rules to it that can consume you. So just pick one thing. You're like, okay, I'm going to get better at this. So what I decided to do for me is I just reached out to someone and I got them to coach me on social media. So I did a little coaching session and I said, I'm going to be coachable. So give me one thing that I can do better to improve on. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to coach you guys and tell you what I just learned. Write down right now, write down 3 things that you feel you bring value to social media. So write 3 things. So you can be like, I love to share recipes. I love to, talk about homeschooling. I love to share about lawn care. I love to inspire. I love to whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You write down 3 things, and then you're going to ask that question to 5 people, not in a group chat, 5 people separately on their own, and say, what do you think my 3 things that I could share about on social media, where you're like, oh my gosh, you're hilarious. You should do comedy stuff. Or you're so good at cooking. You should be sharing recipes. You're going to ask 5 people to give you their top 3 things. And Jen Cobb told me, she said, what you'll notice is there'll be a lot of overlapping. And those are your 3 things that you then post on. So is this to make you just a massive influencer? No, I'm not teaching that. But what I am teaching is, let's get clear on what your brand is and get clear on what you're sharing on social media. So you don't feel, okay, and maybe this is just me, but I can feel like a space cadet. I'm like, what am I going to post? And then we just start copying and sharing the same crap over and over and over again. Now, are there some good shareable posts that are copyable? Yes, of course. But wouldn't it be so much better? Because let me ask you, is your return of investment on social media been effective for you? Which means you post and you get customers. Cheryl's cracking me up. Cheryl's like, hell no. But listen, so if it isn't, that's okay. But if we're going to do the posting, let's make it worth our while. Let's make it worth our while, right? Plexus needs to be either in your feed or in your stories once a day. Whatever and however that comes. If that means you got to do a Plexus and a personal, and you got to do Plexus in your stories and personal on your wall, however the math adds up, that's what you need to be doing. It's the energy in us showing up every day that people love. That's what they feel. They're like, oh, well, okay, like, oh my gosh, like, look, your team's on fire. This is going on and this is going on, whatever. So asking your 5 people around you and then just start doing it. Like, make your social media work for you in the sense of if you're going to put the time in and use it really well. The next thing I was thinking about was expanding our networks to being able to bring in people of quality and people that we actually want versus just whoever, whenever, however. We need whoever, whenever, however. Okay. We need them. We need everybody that will be willing to come on board. However, this is one of the things that my other coach was telling me. She said, social media is not actually duplicatable. Okay. So I would say I built a lot of my business on social media, not my personal recruits, but my business, right? I use Facebook. I still use Facebook for my team page. I still use like all that stuff. So like building my business. I would say that a lot of my jewels use social media to build their business, right? So it's a huge part of what we do, but it is not everything. And if you get somebody who joins you and they have a shitty social media following, okay, they don't post, they're not on there, and then all of a sudden they hop on and they're like, I'd like to give Rachel Wilkes a shout out for Plexus. And Plexus did this for me, and it's equal to 9 cups of broccoli. Who is going to join them? Like, I'm not. I'm like, who are you, Susan? I haven't seen you post in 100 years. And now you're telling me there's like, I don't even know what you're drinking. Are you drunk? Like, that's probably what I'm thinking. Like, I'm like, click the unfollow button because that's annoying. So what does that do? That sets them up for failure. Like, we're literally being like, this is our only road to duplication, right? You got to make a Facebook post. So if somebody has a rougher social media, they haven't been on very often, they're not, really influencers on social media. I was not an influencer on social media. I was back in the day when you literally were like, you like at gym. Like that's what you would say, like at gym. Huh? No picture. You would just put the word at gym. Like, I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I was not an influencer on social media. It didn't even really exist yet. Right. And so how did I build my business in the beginning? I did events. Lisa and I did so many events, it'd make your eyebrows fall off. It, I've actually never said that in my entire life. I don't know why. I hope none of your eyebrows fall off. But, and when I say that, I would say we did probably 1 to 2 events a week. So it's not doable, right? And it was a season of life that we were in, that it was like, we're doing this, like, we're gonna do this. And then eventually they would do it, right? And so we would get to go if we could, and if we were available. But there for about 4 to 5 months, we were running every week at least 2 events. And so what happens is that people, especially now, and it is just proven over and over and over again, is that people now are craving in person. They're actually looking for that social interaction, and it is showing that it is very, very, very effective. So if somebody comes and they're just like, maybe they've done a post and it didn't work out well, or they haven't posted yet, I would say to them, hey, you can try this, but what is a definite to success is going to be having an event. Like, social media is so hit or miss. So having an event and asking them to do an event. Yeah, Rach.
Okay, so my new girl is that she literally messages me every day about how much better she feels, like literally every minute detail of her life. She messages me every day how much better it's improved, which I'm very happy for her. And she tried the post and got nothing. So she's in California. I can't fly there right now.
Yeah.
So for someone that doesn't do well on social media, like she was the shy kid. We went to high school together. She was the shy kid, like doesn't really have a lot of friends. Well, I don't know what to do for her.
Okay. Who has an idea? If you can't get there in person, go ahead, Nicole.
Where's she at in California?
I have no idea. Let me see.
Only reason I ask is because 2 people on my team are in California and they want to host an event. They're hosting it next week or the week after. So maybe they could all get together and do something where she would still feel like she has that like network, and maybe that would inspire her a little bit, feeling like she has a team.
Mhm.
I
'Cause-
sorry.
No, I
I
was
had
just
like-
because Katie was feeling that way too.
You may now speak, Connie.
Gracias, amigas. I had a lady in Georgia and it was hilarious. Lisa hopped on there with me, but she got all the ladies in her neighborhood to come to her house. And then she pulled me up on the computer screen and we Zoomed.
Yeah.
Boom.
And we
Bingo.
just, and Lisa was on there and it was actually freaking hysterical. Remember Lisa Baldwin? It was hysterical. But anyway,
It's always a good time. Guys, just know,
It's-
you never know how it's gonna go.
So
was
if
funny.
so here's what I would suggest. You ask them to do an in-person event, and if you're not local, you say host it anyway, and I'll be on Zoom.
Okay.
Bring me up on Zoom and I will be there. And I will hang out with you on Zoom and I'll talk to people like a weirdo, but it works, right? It's basically in person. The next
Your foot is kind of a good excuse not to be there too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And the other thing is that what I'm seeing work best is when I'm offering two events. I'm going to offer an in-person event with my upline on Zoom, and then I'm going to offer a Zoom one for all of their out-of-town friends. So that one would be like, hey guys, I've started these supplements. I can't believe how good I'm feeling. More energy, better sleep. And I have my friend who told me about it is going to hop on and share her story and a little bit about the products if you want to learn any more about it. So that would be a really good post to just put out there, but then also be like, hey, social media is kind of like hit or miss. So if I were you, I would post it, but then I would be focused on inviting people to it. Like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to come? And then you've got people not focused on the social media post being the end all be all, right? Like this means whether I'm going to be successful or not successful. It's like, I'm going to do an event. So for example, Lisa and I just onboarded somebody. Lisa signed her up. She's going to be a business builder. She's decided to wait to November 1st for the double credits, which I think is smart. But what we're doing now, right now, is we've set up the event. We have her inviting, and then she's going to do the post. Okay. So she's going to invite people. Then she's going to make a post that invites her overall network so that people can come on top of that. But what we're seeing is that it's going to build confidence because they're going to go for their people that they feel the most comfortable with first, right? The people that are probably going to say, yeah, I'll come. Yeah, I'll come and support your business. Yeah, I'll come and do that, right? So they get a little bit of confidence, keep going so that if the social media post doesn't work, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not like, oh my gosh, this means I'm not going to be successful. And so I like that part, I think is huge. And then going back and telling people on your team, hey, let's do an event. Hey, let's do an event. Can I remind y'all of something? 8 to 12 exposures. 8 to 12 exposures. It doesn't matter on what, right? So 8 to 12 exposures for the business, 8 to 12 exposures for the products, 8 to 12 exposures to have a sip and see, 8 to 12 exposures to go silver, 8 to 12 exposures to go diamond, right? It's like it's our job to inspire people. So when you ask the question, because this is what happens, right? You'll share it once because it's clear. Your system's clear. I share it to everybody when they first sign up, right? I'm hoping that everybody on here does it at least once, no problem. The problem I see where people fall off the wagon, and I'm just a freaking bulldog this way because I had no money coming in and you were going to work the business. Like Sally Sue, look at me. You're going to work the business with me. Okay. Like you're going to be getting 3 people. I was like a dog with a bone. Cheryl Muller can attest to this because I was like, you're going live now, boom, and we're happening. That was my strategy. Okay. So I forget that that's not a system. That was just my personality and my drive at the time. Right. So what happens is we share it once or twice and then we get scared. We're out of our comfort zone now. We're in la la land wondering, okay, well, I've already asked. So this is what happens when I talk to people. Okay. So like if Connie tells me, hey, And Connie used to not be coachable on this. I'm just going to call you out, Connie, but now she is. So that's better. So if I was like, hey, we got to ask so-and-so event. Well, I already asked them. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you've asked Sally 50 million times. Lisa Youngs, if Lisa Youngs hears the name Carol Chapman one more time, she's probably going to break her phone and smash the computer because I bring her up every single time we talk about
Like literally, I'm just like, buddy, come
because
on.
I know she's a connector. I know it.
Yes,
I
it's
know
true.
she is. And so it's like, okay, she's been faithful in the products for 9 years. Sister needs to have a sip and see. I will ask over and over and over again. So, for example, Connie is going to be doing the most adorable little event at her house called Ghouls Night Out, Halloween themed, really cute, and having people come and doing it. And she's invited her people to invite people as well, right? So if you can't get people to host their own event, host one and have them bring people to it, right? That's exposure. Even if they don't come, and here's what I need you guys to do. Even if nobody ever comes to your event, I can't even tell you how many times I've had events that I don't have. It's awesome if someone shows up, but it's awesome if someone doesn't. I'm like, well, I got the night off, and I didn't even expect it. Because what it's doing for your energy out in the world is you're saying, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm posting about this. I'm having this. Because what happens if somebody comes? And that somebody is your Alita or your Cheryl or your Lisa or your Connie or your Nicole or your Rachel. What if somebody comes and they're your person? Like, we get this idea in our head that quantity is so much more important than quality. And it's like, no, it really isn't. Can I get so-and-so to come to my event? And if she doesn't come to this event, at least I'm in conversation about the business. At least she knows you're on my radar. I want you to picture somebody asking to date you. And they only ask you one time, and then they're just gone. But somebody who's persistent, who shows up, okay, and for most, okay, we're all married on here. So picture your daughter being asked out. Do you want the guy that's like asks her out one time and then never talks to her again? Or do you want the guy who is foolish over her, who is like, you would be amazing. You're amazing. Here's flowers. Here's chocolates. Like Ava's got this little boy at school who's like giving her a boo basket and all of this stuff. And she's like, I'm just saying it starts to work. It starts to work because it's like, wait, okay, like you don't just think I'm special because right here in this moment, you like me. It's the same concept. So when you think about how long it took Jennifer Leith to woo me into Plexus, and let me tell you, she wooed me. She bought everything I sold from my farm. She would show up to all the things. She was constantly messaging me consistently once a month about how amazing I'd be at the business. I felt when I started the business, I was like, I could actually do this. Like, she actually thinks I could do this. Why else would she just keep messaging me? Why else would she keep thinking I could do this? There's something about that that makes you actually feel special. So don't look at it like I'm annoying them. It's like, yeah, no, I'm pursuing them. The boy who keeps bringing the flowers and the chocolates and the things and all this doing this stuff. It's like, that's the boy you want, but do you really think that boy is just like, oh, this is in the bag, I got this? Or do you think he's scared? You think he thinks I'm annoying? He's thinking, I hope I'm not scaring her off. I don't want to be a creepo, but I really like this girl. So like Connie with Ashley, right? We're going to hunt her down. In the most non-creepy way, we're going to hunt her down. We're going to keep messaging her. She finally got on the products. Now she loves the products. She's given us permission in so many ways to just keep exposing her to the business. We're going to invite her to the events. We're going to get her plugged in. We're going to have this freaking slushy machine and we're going to bring margaritas when she comes over because we know she loves the margaritas. And we're going to get this girl to build a business. It takes patience and it takes pursuance, but so many times we're like, I've already asked them, so I'm not going to ask them anymore. And I want you to picture that being you. Okay, well, fine. Lisa doesn't want the business. I'm never talking to her again. That's not how you build relationships and how you build whatever. And I do it and you do it and we will do it with integrity of whether you join our business or not, we're going to have a blast getting to know you. Right? So whether Ashley ever ends up building a business or not, truthfully, we're going to have so much fun pursuing this girl because she's a blast and she's a good time and it's so fun. Like, regardless of whether Nicole ever decided to build a business or not, we were friends. Like, I'm always going to get my lashes done by her. I'm going to hunt her down if she ever closes her lash business, and I'm going to cry. But regardless of whether she ever did it or not, I had a blast doing that with her. So now that she's doing it, it's like, it's a blessing and a bonus, right? I had the most hilarious time going after Rachel, accidentally calling her from Mexico, her husband thinking she was coming on my family vacation. Like, it was one thing after another that was hilarious. Regardless, I have a friend for life, right? And so it's like, it's thinking of it that way. It's like, I'm not just pursuing you for Plexus. I'm also just here to uplift you. Like, who doesn't want to be pursued? Like, I think you'd be amazing at what I do. But I also love having fun with you. So you've got to come hang out with us. Once people get in our presence, they have a great time. They're like, okay, so I can make money, have drinks with my girls, and like, this is working. You're like, yeah, that's correct. Nicole hasn't seen the crazy side of us yet. So just wait for the cruise, Nicole. And I'm sure you're going to be like, oh gosh. Once Lisa breaks out the silent disco dancing ears, you're going to be like, oh my God. So yeah.
Chris is
Anyway.
gonna be like, what is
Yeah.
happening? Like, what kind of cult did you join us in?
I know. It'll be like from Christian culty. That's the only event you've seen to like, this is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Wait
all
till
I'm-
Holy Hands Ministry comes out.
Oh yeah.
my
Holy
gosh.
Hands Ministry is quite something.
Can't
Cheryl
wait.
drinking and doing sign language is my favorite thing on the planet of history. She's
Oh
like,
my God.
sing Lady Gaga. And then it's the best. It's the best. So anyway, let's win. Let's get out there and win. Let's expose people to the business. Let's expose them to what we want, who we want on our team. And that takes clarity. It's like, who do I want on my team? Who am I going to pursue? Like for Connie, it's been so clear. It's Ashley, right? It's like, we're going after Ashley. We want Ashley on our team. For Nicole, it was clear. She wanted Katie. It was like, okay, so we were in it. We were in it together. We were doing the calls. We were talking. We were doing the stuff. It's like exposure after exposure after exposure. And most people don't really make a decision until they're gold. They just don't. And so it's like, it's okay to just keep pursuing people and keep telling them they'd be amazing at this. Like, don't get somebody and be that, don't be a bad husband. Don't you dare just be like, oh yeah, okay, you're guaranteed now. Like, I got you. Like, I'm not gonna buy you a gift. I'm not gonna take you on a date. Don't be that person. Love on your people, right? Let them know, especially when you're in newer stages of your business, or if you're in a newer growth period in your business, letting people know, hey, I appreciate you. I'm shouting you out. Like, you deserve this. Like, you're doing so good. Don't forget to do that. So any questions, comments, heckling, anything? I feel like Lisa wants to say something, but I'm not sure.
Well, I was thinking about yes, Nicole, we do have a good time on that cruise, girl. Just get ready.
Can't wait.
It's the best trip in all the world, honestly. Going back to that first post, I think it's really, really important. And had I to do over again, I would really prepare them saying, hey, this really is not how we expect to get your 3 people, but we're going to put it out there because you never know who's watching. because I think it's really preparing them. Well, and I hate saying that because I like being positive and stuff, but I think preparing them for not having a lot of feedback on that first post, because it really depends on their algorithm and if they even show up in people's feeds. So anyway, I think that's just a really good thing
That's
to
actually a
remember.
really good point. It's like this may not bring in your people, but it's just good to put it out there and let people kind of know what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah. And training
Yeah.
them,
So that
to
they're
be
not
posting.
expecting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I
Yeah.
I'm
also think
so excited. And girl, I'm right there with you with the fire. I'm like, let's
Yes.
freaking go.
Yes.
And listen, tonight I wasn't able to jump on the 10 o'clock work Zoom. So I'm going to be doing one tonight after the team call. So hop on there with me and we will message people, because dang, it is the 20 something and we got work to do
Okay, what time were you doing that, Lisa?
after the team call tonight.
Okay, okay, I might need you to hop on a Zoom with me with
Oh, yes. Well, whatever
Rebecca,
we need to
new
do.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Sounds good.
like 10 minutes. Okay.
Yep. That'll be part of my work Zoom. But seriously, we need to be messaging people. And it's so funny. Thank you so much, Alita, for reminding me, because I felt like I've messaged people, some people probably 10 times. But I'm like, you know what? There are some people that I know could be successful with this. And so I'm going to message them again. And just remember that I'm really giving them an amazing opportunity, and offering that to them. So
And Lisa, how many times did you message Dina and for how many years?
for years. I mean, and the girl, Mary, that I just signed up, guys, I've been messaging her for almost 9 years. And she finally, something changed. And now she's looking for a business opportunity. I had no idea that was on the radar. So thank God I was persistent, in messaging people. So I think it's important to remember what Alita said. We're not bothering them. We're flattering them. Because if you sent me a message saying why you think I would be amazing at this 10 times, it'd be flattering, honestly.
I think that's what I was like running into, because one of the first girls that I was like, oh my gosh, she'd be amazing at this. She had told me like, oh, I really don't want the business. Like, I think I'm just going to sign up for the products. And she was one of the first people I messaged, and she still has yet to sign up for the products. And she literally posts on social media all day, every day. She has a huge following because of her over 100 pounds already weight loss. And she's like, oh, I plateaued. And I'm like, do you want to just I just want to shake you and like, girl, like, what are you doing? Just listen to me. But she won't. And I'm just like, I'm just going to go message her today. And so I even supported her small business like 2 weeks ago. She does like printing. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to buy something for her and be like, look, I'm supporting you. Just listen to me. Like, I'm trying to help you. So I'm going to go message her today.
One thing that I think the Mary thing taught me, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Like, because you just never know if you're diligent and showing up and sending those messages and doing the activity and showing up in the energy that you need to, they will come. Build it and they will come. They will come. We don't know when, but if you're posting, messaging, doing the challenges, doing the events, the right people will be brought to your team. And I know that to be true. So I know it gets like, come on, I feel that, Nicole, like, I get it, but it's like, just like take in a deep breath and be like, okay, I'm going to do it. And whether she says yes or no, I'm not going to worry about it, because I'm messaging all these other people, like there's
And
no pressure.
It makes me so happy to hear that, because it's like, I get excited all over again, because it's like, isn't that the whole thing? I mean, truthfully, if everything was just given to us, life would be boring. Life would be boring. It's in the work. The victory is so much sweeter when it's like, okay, like I've put some time and effort into this, and it's like, this is exciting and amazing, and we're going somewhere. And really what this business takes is resilience to manage the amount of patience that you need to keep going, because you will have very high mountaintop vibe feelings when someone comes on your team and all of a sudden they go senior gold in a week. And then there'll be really slow times where it's like, I can't even get someone to sign up. What's happening? And everybody will have that experience, even millionaires and billionaires and whatever. If you're in business, there's busy times and there's slow times. So using those slow times to really connect to people, sending them messages. Why do you think they'd be good at what you do? Why do you like them? Why do you want them on your team? And saying those things, flattering them, not asking them for a sale necessarily, but flattering them and building that connection and trusting that you're not annoying, you're awesome. Let's go. Okay. I love this. I love this group right here.
Same. I love you guys so much.